If you had one shot or one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment, would you capture it or just let it slip? Yo. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti, he's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud, he opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's choking how? Everybody's choking now. The clock's run out, time's up, over, loud. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes gravity. Choke. He's so mad, but he won't give up. Daddies, he know he won't have it. He knows his whole back to these ropes. It don't matter, he's dope. He knows that, but he's broke. He's so stagnant, he knows when he goes back to this mobile home, that's when it's back to the lab again, yo. This old rhapsody better go back to this moment and hope it don't pass him.
Listen, we can talk about the flag, but let's talk about wait.
And good morning, everybody, and welcome to a very, very happy good morning here on Trending in the AM, right here on DSM Media, live, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. You know the drill. Smash that like button, retweet button, share button on the Facebook and Twitter side. On the YouTube side, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you click subscribe, and make sure you turn the notifications on if you can. It's also the best place to get involved. We got lots to talk about. We got Phillies bats come alive. Jay Wright retires from Villanova. But, of course, Sixers with the huge overtime victory over the Toronto Raptors. Get involved on the YouTube page. Put your comments in the comment section there, your thoughts, your questions, your concerns. You can't stop the process from meeting its destiny. That's what I'm looking at right now. That's how I'm feeling right now. We keep talking at the process. The league is doing everything in their power to try to hold the process back. But guess what? No. The process is going to be complete. Dude, the intro song to this show, it's a spin-off of the classic Eminem tune, Lose Yourself. And it's classic. Some people now think it's like too classic now. But the opening line of it, which, you know, that opening line's played in the intro. If you had one shot, one opportunity to seize everything you wanted, would you capture it or let it slip away? It's one of the most motivating lines that have ever been written in a song to me. Whenever I'm having a rough day or I have a big day, excuse me, that intro to that song gets me fired up and pumped and gets my mind going, gets me in the right place. And it's a perfect description of what Joel Embiid did last night, what Joel Embiid needed to do last night. And let me tell you something. Right off the bat, I mean, he basically just put a stomp. He curb stomped the Raptors' hopes and dreams. Anybody that did not vote for Joel Embiid to be MVP, which we all knew he was having the best season out of anybody out there. Anybody that did not vote for Joel Embiid to be the league MVP this year, and you watched that game last night, I bet you should, or I would hope you'd be calling that league office, yo, can I change my vote? Is it too late to change my vote? Because let me tell you something. Joel Embiid, just again, last night proved why he is the best center in the league, one of the three best players in the league, and the 2022 season MVP. There is nobody on the planet playing at a level that Joel Embiid is right now. Yeah, Drake's now a Sixer and Embiid fan. Of course. Drake ain't no. It's just like Meek Mill's not a Sixer fan, really. They're all just looking for the hottest ticket in town. I get that. Yeah, nothing. Forget Drake. Whatever. I can't say. I don't want Drake to be a Sixers fan. I don't. Not at all. So let's recap this Sixers game. Let's talk about it. As I said, Joel Embiid crushes the Raptors' spirits. Now, the game came out last night. Raptors, energetic crowd, energy flowing through that arena, and the Raptors gave the Sixers their best punch. They had that 1-2 combo, boom, boom, and the Sixers took it like a champ, the champ that they are. I don't have a Sixers champ shirt because they've never been a champ yet in my lifetime, but I'm wearing my Phillies champ shirt because that's what the Sixers are. They're the champs. They're going to be the champs. You know, the Sixers took that 1-2 combo. It did not faze them. They were down 17 in the first half. They were just getting the energy. You could just tell. There was nothing to the Sixers there last night. They just didn't have it. I was ready to just write it off as, it is what it is, you know. It's hard to sweep a team in the NBA playoffs. You know, they were going to give up one, you know, let it be, whatever. You know, that energy from that crowd. And first off, let's sidetrack for another second here. man, the Philadelphia fan base gets a lot of crap for what they are. For throwing snowballs at Santa in 1960 whatever. We get a lot of crap. That Raptors crowd last night, let me tell you something. I don't think you really hear F, whatever. Well, there is nobody on the Raptors that you would chant F, to, because they just don't have that many stars or talented players. But that crowd, I mean, it was raucous and it was fun and energizing. But if we get a bad rap, there better be somebody on some media network talking about how embarrassing that was for the city of Toronto. Because that was national TV, not just on Philly TV. And that was some embarrassing performance by them every time, chant. It was literally 7-8 times that Embiid chant started going. I joked on Twitter last night, it must have been Philly fans in disguise that traveled up to Toronto and put on Toronto jerseys, because obviously only Philly people would do that kind of stuff. But no. Toronto, it was a pretty embarrassing effort. But on the other side of it, they were energized. They were loud. They were, they were helping control the flow of the game, the fan base there. And the Raptors were feeding off of it early. There's no doubt about it. And the Sixers were able to take that punch, take that shot, take that uppercut from the Raptors. And you know what they did? Boom. They just shut it down. They just kept inching closer right before the half. Got to like 10 at halftime. Third quarter comes out. They keep closing it to 5, 6. They go on a little run, then 5, 6. Yeah, they hate us because they ain't us. That is are you a rapper or something? Come on, that's some great. That's a great line right there. They took that punch and they just kept clawing their way back. I don't think the Sixers held a lead in this game till a minute, 2 minutes left in the game, when they took a quick lead. The Raptors, they kept going back and forth there in the last 2 minutes. And the Sixers never had more than a 2-point lead until overtime, until they took the game-winning shot. Now, there was, in the fourth quarter, I believe it was, at the end of the game, it was an undrawn play. They had a chance to win it there, and it was just like an unorganized drawn play. Overtime, they actually ran a set play for Embiid for a fadeaway 3. Obviously, the rest is history. The video of Doc drawing up the play, it actually looks like he was actually physically drawing up an actual play, which is crazy because we always talk about that Doc doesn't know how to draw up a play, but it was basically just clearing space for Joel to get the ball and take the last shot, whatever it may be. And it was a fadeaway 3, whatever. Joel made it. Joel Embiid had an awful first quarter, first half of that game. And then something clicked. You could just tell he just wasn't, I don't know if the crowd was getting to Joel. Maybe the energy level wasn't there. I don't know what was wrong with Joel. They adjusted. Instead of, double teaming him at one point in every possession, they switched it up. Instead of him getting the double team right away, they waited. They let him catch the ball, make up his mind about his offensive, play he was going to do or move he was going to make. And then he just went ahead and, then they brought the double team. So they switched it up a little bit. He needed that over at halftime, rethought it out, and he almost matched the first quarter of the last game. He put 19 up in. Third quarter yesterday, he put up 18 points. Just flat out, balled out. Yeah, his thumb's bothering him. Absolutely, Mark. No. Cancel. I almost just quit on the show here. My mouse is starting to die here. It was the thumb. Yeah, I mean, maybe the thumb played a part of it, but the 18 points in the third quarter, the thumb wasn't affecting him. Well, I mean, it was affecting him, but, he was still, able to put up 18 points. Look, they had a game plan. We knew Nick Nurse was going to have a different game plan to stop Joel Embiid, and it didn't matter. Joel Embiid took halftime, figured out what they were doing, and adjusted. Let me tell you something. Another dominating quarter from Joel. 18 points in a quarter for Joel Embiid. 3-point shots, free throws, fadeaway jumpers, moves in the post, whatever it is. It didn't matter. We knew it from the get-go. They have no way of stopping Joel Embiid, the Toronto Raptors. None whatsoever. I mean, it was just an amazing performance from Joel Embiid in the third quarter, fourth quarter, and overtime. No doubt about it. Now, the thumb, it's bothering. We got 2 days off now till Saturday's 2:00 game. Rest up Joel. Get some treatment on that hand. It's all great. There's a lot of other guys that stepped up big in this game. It was not all just Joel Embiid. Again, like I said at the start of this show, those people that voted against Joel Embiid as MVP, dude, you need your card revoked right now. There's no doubt in my mind you need your card revoked. There's no reason why. We all saw it. Everybody saw it. Joel Embiid was the MVP. But you got this problem with the process. And I'm saying the process as in the Philadelphia 76ers process. I'm saying the process is in Joel, the process Embiid, whatever you want to call him. Dude, there's so many people that don't want the process to succeed. And that's why you didn't vote for the MVP. Whatever. We all know who the real MVP is, and that's Joel Embiid. The players in the NBA are speaking out. We've seen Kevin Durant speak out about it. We saw Markelle Fultz make a statement. I know, whatever, with Markelle Fultz. But he made a statement to some site saying, dude, they're not going to ever validate the process. They know that. You got players across the league that know Joel Embiid's the MVP. Joel knows he's the MVP. But look what Nikola Jokic is doing over there in Denver in this playoffs. Come on now. Joel Embiid, MVP. We know that. But there's other people that stepped up. There are other people that had really good games yesterday. And I want to touch on pretty much the entire team because they all had everybody played their role yesterday. Everybody did what they needed to do. So let's just start right at the top. The box score has Tobias Harris's name first. He only had 11 points, 12 rebounds. But first off, on the game-winning shot, he set the perfect screen to get Joel Embiid open. And it's those little things like that screen there that Tobias Harris has done so well this entire series. First 2 games of the series, he was scoring. I think he was the second leading scorer on this team, maybe third leading scorer on this team in the first 2 games of the series. Last night, he wasn't scoring. The ball wasn't getting to him. I mean, he only took 9 shots. They were guarding him well. Those long athletic wings that the Raptors have, it's a bad matchup for Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris did the other things. Grabbed, important rebounds at the right time. The defense of Tobias Harris. I cannot stress it enough how great Tobias Harris is playing on defense right now in the series. And he shouldn't be. I mean, Tobias Harris is an average defender, which is good because when he first got to Philly, I mentioned this the other day, he was a liability on defense. He has worked his ass off to become a decent defender in this league. He's never going to be an all-pro defender, but he knows what to do now a little bit better. He knows how to keep people in front of him. The athletic wings that they have on the Raptors, he should not be able to keep up with. He does. The defense he put on Siakam and OG last night, and all those guys last night, he played. He impressed the hell out of me. And when we go up against some other teams with some big guys, and I've talked about before, if we have to face Kevin Durant or Giannis in the playoffs, we don't have a guy that can match up. And I'm not saying Tobias Harris would match up well with those guys, but at least he's putting the effort in. And that's all you can ask for, being able to contain these guys. Tobias' effort on defense last night was excellent. It was 5-star effort on defense. And I know some of the Raptors, they put up points. I know. Let's see here. OG, he put up 26. Gary Trent put up 24. Precious Achua put up 20. He wasn't guarding, Gary Trent, but he was on OG a bit. He was on Achua a bit last night. Patrick Siakam, he was on a bit. Patrick Siakam only had 12 points last night. Patrick Siakam, I mean, he's a good player, man. He really is. But he had an awful game last night. He just looked so, every time he has one move. He dribbles it in, and he turns around, and he puts a little shot. He has one basic move. And Tobias was shutting him down. Hand in the face every single time. Didn't foul stupidly. The Sixers, the refs, we're going to get into that in a second, how the refs tried to stop the Sixers last night. But Tobias wasn't one of them. Tobias was not drawing unnecessary fouls. He had one foul last night. Damn, I thought it was 2 or 3. And he was able to keep his feet on the ground, keep his hand away from the other player. Excellent, excellent performance. A star of the game last night. He won't get the credit he deserves outside of Philly for last night because he only put up 11 points. But, man, put some respect on the effort level for Tobias Harris last night. It was 110% last night, and you cannot take anything away from him there last night. Danny Green played 46 minutes last night. Obviously, overtime game, 53-minute game, so 46 minutes last night. 9 points, 7 rebounds, had a couple steals. He did exactly what you expected him to do. Active, like I've been saying all series long, Danny Green looks good. Active on defense. You can't beat active on defense. Run around, never slowing down. Almost not starting him all season long. It's saved his legs. The guy's got energy. For a 34, almost 35-year-old guy, he's got some energy left out there. Still makes some good shots. Didn't do anything. But what's great is he's playing so well and almost made you forget last night. Did you think once in those 53 minutes last night, man, I wish we had Matisse Thybulle on the court. No. Why? Because Danny Green's playing well. I kind of forgot about Matisse Thybulle. I actually don't think I thought about Matisse. I was probably planning on at some point making a Matisse tweet or comment at some point last night. I did not think of Matisse Thybulle once in those 53 minutes last night. Not once. Because you know why? Danny Green doing what he needs to do as the fifth starter on this team. Joel Embiid, we talked about it already. Joel Embiid put up a huge game, 33 and 13, another 30 and 10 game. He did have 6 turnovers, and a lot of them were in the first quarter. I mean, we had, 15, 16 first half turnovers last night, and we only had 22 for the game, so we cleaned it up in the second half. But, yeah, Joel Embiid had 6 turnovers. That's got to get cleaned up. Some of them are also on the hand. The thumb is bothering Joel Embiid a lot right now. I wouldn't be surprised if there's not some kind of ligament tear or something in there, that he's just playing through the pain right now. Hopefully he can handle that pain through the rest of the playoff run. But Joel Embiid, we spent the first 10 minutes of the show talking about him. Joel Embiid, I mean, he's the man. He's the MVP. Joel Hans MVP. That's what he is. Tyrese Maxey last night, 47 minutes out of the 53. He didn't have his best game last night. We knew the Raptors were going to do what they had to do to shut him down. And when we get to James Harden in a second, they kind of go together, Tyrese Maxey, James Harden. Tyrese Maxey couldn't dominate like he wanted to. He did take the second most shots on the team with 18 shots, 1 of 5 from deep. So he didn't have his best shooting night. He had 19 points, 4 rebounds, an assist, a steal, also 5 turnovers. Something that Tyrese Maxey, we were joking early in the beginning of this show, the creation of this show. We started this show, in October, November, somewhere around there. Maybe a little bit later than that. We wanted to have the Maxey counter at the bottom because he turned the ball over so little. Tyrese Maxey, the Raptors, Nick Nurse, give them credit, had a good game plan on Tyrese Maxey. Sorry, old man Al just walked in the room here. What's up, buddy? Somehow, I don't know how this dude knows how to open doors, but he figured out how to open doors here. Tyrese Maxey, they had a good game plan to adjust to him. He didn't have his best game. But still, when the crux of the game was going on, fourth quarter, overtime, Tyrese Maxey still did not relent. He did not let some shots not falling stop him. There was, I think it was in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter, he had just a god-awful deep three-point shot. I mean, it just hit the backboard and bounced. It was awful. I love the confidence, and I don't want him to stop having that confidence because that's how you continue to grow as a star. So Tyrese Maxey had an off game. And what did that mean? Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid had awful first quarters and beginning of the game. So what happened? James Harden fouled out of the game. James Harden had 3 turnovers. He had 19 points, 10 assists, 6 rebounds in the game. And, he definitely got quieted down in the second half. He had some foul trouble that took him out of the game for a good stretch of that second half. But James Harden was aggressive last night, driving to the basket, taking shots. I mean, he basically carried the team in the first quarter, getting to the rim and getting his buckets. So they slid over to Tyrese Maxey, gave him a little bit more attention. So what do? James Harden steps up. James Harden doesn't want to be the guy anymore. I've talked about it countless times on the show. James Harden wants to be the third, 4-star. Well, James Harden knows, though, that when the time is right and the time is needed, that he can step up. I mean, I expected the way the game started that he would have more than 19 points at the end of the game. But, it is what it is. James Harden played a really solid game. Not that breakout game I've been hoping for. And I still think is coming at some point in this playoff run, not playoff series, because the series is basically over, and we're going to get to that in a second. Sorry, I got to give Al some love in here as he's sitting here. Old man Al. I can't move the laptop without unplugging it, so he's sitting right here. James Harden is going to make that breakout at some point this series. Bench did what they did. George Niang played 23 minutes, probably a few more minutes than probably expected. He came in there when James Harden left for foul trouble, played 23 minutes. If James Harden doesn't have foul trouble, he probably plays 47 minutes as well. And George Niang would drop down. But bang, bang, George Niang. I know some people hate that phrase. Bang, bang, George Niang from Kate Scott. I love Kate Scott. Kate Scott, on a side note, people don't like her for some reason. And I think it's false hatred. When Harry Kalas passed away in 2009, Tom McCarthy took over as the full-time play-by-play guy for the Philadelphia Phillies. Everybody hated Tom McCarthy at first. And it was because he was replacing a legend. And they just missed the legend. They were sad about the loss of Harry Kalas. Now you can't imagine a Phillies game being called on TV without T-Mac. And I think that's the same thing with Kate Scott. People don't like Kate Scott because she's not Mark Zumoff. And she's not Mark Zumoff. They're totally two different people. One's a man, one's a woman. But But give her if you try to listen to how she calls the games and try to take out of the equation the fact that she replaced the voice of the Sixers, one of the greatest play-by-play guys of all time in all sports, in Mark Zumoff. You try to take that out of the equation. She does a damn good job. So the hate's unnecessary. And I love her phrase, bang, bang, George Yang. And I see people on Twitter bashing bang, bang, George Yang and that phrase all the time. Dude, you got to stop it with that. Bang, bang, George Yang. That's a damn creative thing. Knocked down 3 threes, did his job. Paul Reed, he had an early turnover when he first came in to spell Joel Embiid in the second quarter. And I thought they were going to pull him. I thought they were going to put DeAndre Jordan out there. And they did. They stuck with him, and he did what he did. Energy, defense, rebounding, put back, 9 minutes. Exactly what you want from a backup center getting only 9 minutes. Provided his energy. DeAndre Jordan did get in on the last play just for defense. He didn't even register a minute or a stat. And Shake Milton, 11 minutes. Again, what you want, you only need 11 minutes from Shake Milton, 12 minutes from Shake Milton. He did what he had to do. And Shake Milton's actually, quietly having, checking in on Kate Scott. She has a chance to be one of the greats. She's grown on me. Yeah, she grew on me right from the get-go because I was willing to give her the chance. I'm not blind to the fact that she's replacing a legend, and people aren't going to like that. She's replacing a legendary voice, Freddie Defo. That's a tough act to follow. People hated on Jim Jackson. Jim Jackson's another example, just like my T-Mac example of replacing Harry Callis. Over time, people grew on them. Yeah, absolutely. But your backup, Shake Milton's actually having a really good series so far, guys. I'm really impressed. He's actually healthy for the first time in like 2 years, and he's playing well. He gets to the rim. He's not afraid to take a shot. He knows he's got 10 to 14 minutes a game right now in this playoff series, and he's just given max effort for 10 to 15 minutes, and so you'll love to see it. And that was all who played. I know I brought it up yesterday. I was like, I'm a little scared, No Matisse, what are they going to do? Is Furkan going to get 5 minutes? No. Furkan didn't even sniff that floor. That's good. I didn't know what they were going to do, with no Matisse. They just ran with who they were already running. And that's smart, and that's what you want to see. The whole playoff, not just in this Raptors series. That's what you want to see. You want to see them stick to this 8 to 9 because when Matisse is back in Philly, he's going to get out there on the floor. That 8 to 9 minute rotation. Honestly, at this point, you don't even need to bring Matisse back in the playoffs. You obviously don't need him. I pity the poor fool that will have to. Oh my God, yeah, Freddie. I mean, that's a great comment there. I don't know. Hey, hopefully Merrill Reese just goes for another 50 years. Because yeah, it's going to be the same situation. So anyway, Sixers win. Obviously, like I said, 3-point victory. I called it. If you're following me on Twitter at Beard of Knowledge, I'm going to pull the Mark point here at Beard of Knowledge. I put out a tweet. It was for fun yesterday. It was the Philly parlay. I took the Phillies -1.5. I took the Sixers -1.5. Parlayed them all together. Got $5. I'm not a big better. $5 is a big bet for me, actually. Put $5 on it, 22, and it hits. The Sixers win with that 3-point shot. So what's this mean for the rest of the series? What it means is the series is over. They literally, like I said earlier, they took the best 1-2 punch that the Raptors had, and they just took it. Just glancing blow is what it was. It just kind of hit them in the side, glanced by them, did no damage. Now, are they going to win in 4? Or are they going to give them the gentleman's sweep? I hate that term. People always use it, the gentleman's sweep. There ain't nothing gentleman about it. If you get beat, you get beat. Okay? But that's the term it's for, the gentleman's sweep. Whether they win on Saturday at 2 o'clock or not, I don't know. I want to see them win. I want to see them come out on Saturday with the same energy, the same purpose, the same focus. Because then if they win that and sweep the series against the Raptors, they can come home, and they were going to get a good week break before they have to go up against the Miami Heat in the second round. And this is like the redemption tour it's setting up to be for Joel Embiid. Beating the Raptors, who knocked him out a few years ago. Then going up against Miami, beating Miami and Jimmy Butler, and then going up against potentially the Boston Celtics for the Eastern Conference Finals and getting that revenge on the Boston Celtics. It's the Joel Embiid redemption tour. And the next regular season will be the Joel Embiid MVP redemption tour because obviously everybody's anti him. But I want that good week break as we continue to rest up Joel, rest these guys up because obviously they're playing 40. Honestly, even if the game doesn't go overtime, they're all playing 38 to 41 minutes in the regular time part of the game. Get the series over with on Saturday night. They can't. I mean, that energy, that crowd, you could see as the game went on, the energy even that the Raptors crowd had was getting sucked out, as they could just tell that the game was slipping away from them. and the chants were a little less enthusiastic. The cheers were a little less enthusiastic. There's a video of a Sixers fan in the Raptors crowd there last night, and he's filming that last second shot. And as soon as that shot goes in, you just look around the arena, and it's just dead air. That's it. And it's because it just sucked the life out of them. It sucked the life out of the crowd. It sucked the life out of the team. They blew their last night. It's done. It's over with. So I'm really confident in thinking that they can go out in Game 4, just shut the door. It's a 2:00 game. Boom, done. Asta, get your thing. Hey, thanks. I mean, sorry, Mark. Later in the show, I am going to touch on your man Jay Wright, but we got to talk Sixers first, Mark. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. Look, guys, they got to come out in Game 4, same intensity, same energy. If they do that, then they don't have to play a wasted Game 5 back in Philly. It's very, 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 very important that they come out with that same energy, same intensity in Game 4, and wrap it up. Just be done with it. Move on. We don't need a Game 5. Will they? I don't know. Who'll step up in Game 5? I don't know. We'll see how that all plays out. But it was an excellent, all-around team victory. And that's all I can say. The whole entire team stepped up in that game. Even Doc Rivers. And you know what? I'm hard on Doc Rivers. I really am. I'm one to, constantly say that Doc Rivers needs to go. But he did a damn good job last night. He had this team ready to play. He had this team, as they were down 17 in the second quarter, not giving up. He didn't panic and throw Korkmaz or Isaiah Joe out there. He didn't panic and switch Paul Reed up and put DeAndre Jordan there. Whatever. They didn't have a good set play for the end of the fourth quarter there when they could have just won it in regulation. But you know what? In overtime, a tie ball game, the play he drew up, I'll say it. I said it before. You don't want your center taking a fadeaway three. But you know what? It's Joel freaking Embiid. He can make fadeaway threes. He made one again earlier in the game yesterday. Just like he did the corner shot in Game 2, I believe it was. Dude, Joel Embiid is a different breed, a different animal. So it was a well-drawn-up play. Everybody knew what they were doing. And if you watch that video of him drawing it up, George Niang knew what he had to do. Danny Green knew what he had to do. Tobias Harris knew he had to set the hard screen. Everybody did what they wanted. And you know what? You're giving your best player on your team the final look of a game. And that's what you do. Your best player, the ball should be in the best player's hand. Joel Embiid is the best player. Joel Embiid has the softest touch I've ever seen. I'm 41 years old. I've seen a lot of centers. I've seen Shaq play. I've seen Hakeem Olajuwon play. I could go back to late 80s, early 90s basketball where I actually was watching and knew what I was watching. Not just, I probably watched some early, mid-80s basketball, but, I was like 5 or 6, and maybe I just didn't understand it. But since I can understand basketball, 89, 90, that time frame and on, I've never seen a big man with that soft touch on a basketball when he's shooting from 3, from 2 feet, from the free throw line, from the elbow, anywhere. Never seen a guy with that much soft touch. So it was a well-drawn-up play. You gave the ball to your best player. So I want to give props. That's my little golf clap. I'm holding my microphone here. My little golf clap for Doc Rivers. It was a well-drawn-up play. Called a good game. And we didn't even talk about the refs. The refs tried. I put out the tweet yesterday. It was from Philly Voice. It was the refs crew for last night's game. They literally put guys that don't call fouls in the game. And they were calling fouls against the Sixers a lot. And it definitely, you definitely see the script change. And us conspiracy theorists, I know I got into it too. Probably was just over-exaggerating a little bit. But they definitely were trying to even out the foul calls for the series. It is what it is. But Doc Rivers kept this team composed. No matter what, Danny Green, really bad, technical foul right before halftime there. You can't do that. But legit, he literally had somebody had his arm hooked and threw him down. And he got called for the foul. The refs were definitely swaying one way. Now, whether you believe that bias that, the league, has anything to do with that or not, I don't know. It's a conspiracy theory thing. I kind of feel it could be true at some point, but whatever. I don't want to get into that anymore. That's more for my hot takes on Twitter. But yeah, excuse me. Sorry. Allergies, man. Allergies are killer this time of year, man. Oh, man. The refs did what they had to do to try to even the series out, and this team was able to stay composed. Will the Sixers win Game 4? I don't know. It's probably too soon, but I just want to pop onto the preview for Game 4 here. See if there's an early line on this game yet. ESPN does not have an early. Maybe they do. So it's a -3. Early is the line. So this past week, last night, Game 3, the Sixers were a 1.5 point favorite. So now Game 4, they're a 3-point favorite. Yeah, that's not bad. Not bad. They're giving a little bit more respect to them. I could take that. I could accept that. But will they win? I hope so. We'll see how it goes. We're going to pause in the action so I can blow my nose and clear up my allergies. We're going to come back and talk some Phillies here in a second. So everybody hang in there for this brief commercial break. We'll be right back. Yo, Sixers in 4, baby. What's up, everybody? Phil Stiefel here. Trending in the AM. Look at this site right here, 99jersey.com. Proud supporter of all Trending in the AM shows. Make sure you check them out. Like I said, 99jersey.com. They have the best jerseys of all your favorite athletes from high school, college, movies, TV shows. You got the Kobe Bryant, Lower Merion, the Charlie Conway, Mighty Ducks. Everybody always asks where I got my Sugar Shane Falco jersey back there from the Replacements movie. 99jersey.com. I mean, Magic Johnson, Michigan State, Lonzo Ball, Jalen Rose, you name it, Russell Westbrook, you name it, they've got it on this site. Make sure you check them out, 99jersey.com. Use promo code TRENDING at checkout. It gets you 15% off right away. 99jersey.com, promo code TRENDING. Yo, support the podcast that brings you the heat every single morning. And we are back right here on Trending in the AM. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel. I'm here every Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. I appreciate anybody tuning in. If you're tuning in here late in the show, make sure you hit the share button, the retweet button. If you're watching on Twitter or YouTube now or in the future, hit that thumbs up button. Hit that subscribe button. Continue to help us grow the YouTube channel at DSM Media here. Greatly appreciate it. Any and all support. I really do. Cannot express enough how thankful I am for the growth of DSM Media, but also the morning show. Doing this now for a couple months now, this morning show, waking up every single day with you, talking whatever's trending in Philly sports and in national sports. So I greatly appreciate it. So that thumbs up and that subscribe button, hitting them and telling the world about Trending in the AM means a lot to me. Where it'll go this journey, who knows? But I'm going to keep grinding no matter where it goes here every single morning with you. So we just talked Sixers, crushing the hopes and the dreams of the Raptors. So we're going to transition to the other Philly team. Like I said, I parlayed a little Philly parlay special there. You know, the Phillies yesterday afternoon played the Rockies in Colorado, Game 3 of that 3-game set. They dropped the first 2. Pretty long losing streak the Phillies have been on. They were 4-8 going into this game last night or yesterday afternoon. And luckily, they were able to let their bats come alive. And they beat the Rockies 9-6 yesterday behind the offense coming alive. And we talked yesterday. We've talked on the pregame shows. We've talked on morning shows that the Phillies lineup and Joe Girardi not running out and trotting out the same lineup every single night, every single game. He went back to the same exact lineup yesterday that he had the game before, which I'm not thrilled with, but he still went with it. You know, the Segura in the leadoff spot, Hoskins in the 2-hole, which they're not 1- and 2-hole guys. Harper, Castellanos, JT, Schwarber down there in that 6-hole. Boom, got another start. Camargo and Vierling. And so, and Zach Eflin started. So actually, I want to start with the positives first, okay? Before we get into the negatives of the game, I want to start with the positives. First off, Alec Bohm being in the lineup again. I think he's earned that right to be that starting third baseman every single day. The Didi being injured thing, I'm not sure how long Didi's going to be out for, but that helps because Camargo could slide to shortstop. Johan Camargo has earned that right. He went 4 for 5 yesterday, 3 singles and a home run. He's hitting .382 on the season, a .417 batting average. Alec Bohm's a bad defender. We know that. He's not a great third baseman in Major League Baseball. We know that. But his bat makes up for it 100%. And he still makes some plays. He had 3 errors in 3 innings, was it game 1 or game 2? And that just amplified the problem. But he's not going to have games like that every day. He made a really nice charging barehanded throw yesterday. So that's just telling me that the mental aspect, I keep saying that it's up here with him. Maybe it's not up here. It's just bad luck, sometimes with him. So it's showing me the fact that it's not affecting his at-bats. And honestly, it's not affecting his fielding because he still is an aggressive fielder. Alec Bohm has earned that third base spot going forward every single day. Until you find out what to do, whether you move him or you move Hoskins and put Bohm at first, or you DH him, whatever it may be, Alec Bohm needs to be in the lineup every single night. That's no doubt about it. Same thing with Camargo. There's a lot of hate, and the DSM media group chat was talking about Stott and Camargo yesterday, and there's a lot of my man George was like, the hate for Camargo needs to now be slid over to the positive for Camargo. Better put some respect on his name. There isn't Camargo hate. That's not the problem. And my man Jason pointed it out in the group chat, and I mean, it's something I've said before as well. It's the fact that Camargo has played over Bryson Stott. Bryson Stott hasn't done anything, honestly, like Bohm, to earn that everyday role. But he hasn't been given an everyday role. He's playing third, short, second. He's actually played more games at second, which he only played once in his entire career this year, than shortstop and second, or shortstop and third, the positions he's got more experience at. So the problem with Camargo is that he's taking Stott's spot. And if you're not going to play Bryson Stott every single day at shortstop or even second base, whatever you want to say, and at this point, Camargo's got to be out there every day. He's the hottest bat in the lineup. Gene Segura, you got to play Gene Segura. Bryson Stott just needs to be sent down to the minors so he can get everyday at bats. If you want to send him to AAA and have him bounce between second, third, and short so that he gets practice at all three, whatever. I'm fine if you're doing that in the minors. But up here right now, if you're not playing him every day, you got to send him down. And that's what the problem is. We don't dislike Camargo. It's that we see the Phillies hampering Bryson Stott's development. Who's the future, the big picture on this team? Bryson Stott is. So playing Camargo every single day, while necessary now because he's the hottest bat in the lineup, is slowing Bryson Stott's development. I think the fans would have less problems with Camargo if Stott was sent to AAA, where he could then go get everyday at bats. I think that would make things better. But until then, that's the problem. There is no Camargo hate, as it was said. It's just Camargo, playing over Stott, which is rightfully so. So Harper slowly smidging, coming out of his slump a little bit. Castellanos, another big game, 3 for 4 yesterday. A just absolute moonshot to center field yesterday. I know it's Colorado, but man, for as hard as it is, or easy it is to hit home runs in Colorado, center field is one of the biggest center fields in all of baseball. I mean, you have to put a charge into a baseball to hit it to dead center in Colorado. And dude, he just looks effortless when he swings a baseball bat. When the ball makes contact with his bat, it just looks like he's going to explode. Just makes firm, strong contact every single time that he touches the ball. So lineup is what it is. They broke out of it. Castellanos had a home run last night. Bohm had a huge, 2-run home run and a sac fly in the game. Camargo had a home run in the game. The lineup going forward, I was thinking literally, this idea literally came into my head, I don't know, 3 minutes before we went live on this show. So I haven't even written it down or thought it out too much. So I'm breaking this idea live on the show here. We really don't know what to do with the Phillies lineup. Gene Segura is not a leadoff hitter. Reese Hoskins is not a 2-hole guy. Segura is either a 2 or a 7-hole guy. So Schwarber's starting to come out of his funk a little bit, Did he have a home run yesterday, Schwarber? He did have another Schwarber bomb yesterday. He's 4th on the season. He's got 9 RBIs already. Almost up to that Mendoza line of 200. I'm thinking about a way to fix this offensive lineup. And I'm going to the game with Jason and some other people on Friday. So if you're there, hit me up and we'll catch up at the ballpark on Friday. It'll be my first Phillies game since February 2020 down in Clearwater, right before the whole world went to the shitter. But I'm thinking with this lineup, can you put Camargo or Alec Bohm? Well, actually, so you can put Schwarber back in the leadoff spot if you want. You do Schwarber in the leadoff spot and then Camargo in the 2-hole. Oh, my God. My dog's about to rip the power cord right out of the wall here on my laptop. Yeah, get out of there, dude. Old man Al always wants to cause problems to these shows. So option 1, is there a way? Yeah, 468 yard. Yeah, Cotto will be there too as well. Awesome, man. Maybe we'll have to catch up. Is there a way or a place in this world that you put Schwartz back in the leadoff spot and Camargo or Bohm in the 2-hole? Or You leave Schwartz down that 5-6 hole, and you put both Camargo in the leadoff spot. Camargo's hitting 382. He's got a 417 on base percentage. Bohm's hitting 478 with a 483 on base percentage. You just go Camargo, Bohm, 1-2. Is that a possibility? If you go Camargo 1, Bohm 2, then you go Harper, Castellanos, you move Schwarber actually up to 5. You put JT 6, Hoskins 7, Segura 8, and then Vierling or whoever your center fielder is 9. Might that be the way to go with this lineup? This is just literally, like I said, I came up with this 2 minutes before the show started of somehow finding whether you go Schwarber 1 and Camargo 2 or Schwarber 1 and Bohm 2, or just putting Schwarber or Bohm and Camargo at the top of the order. They're your two best hitters. They get on base. They make contact. I don't know. It's a thought. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm still saying putting Schwarber at the top most likely and just one of them in the 2-hole. We don't have a legit leadoff hitter on this team. I think that's clear as day. So it's got to be creativity. And that's what I'm trying to come up with here, Carter. Creativity with this lineup here. There's got to be something that gives here. Gene Segura is not a leadoff hitter. Hoskins is not a 2-hole hitter. That's all I know. So, if you don't want to put them both at the top, maybe you put Segura back in the 2-hole. You go Camargo 1, Segura 2. That way you leave Bohm down at the 6-7 hole area. Or you go, you put Bohm up there. I don't know. Maybe Bohm could even lead off. I wouldn't want to do that, but maybe he can. I don't know. There's got to be some kind of mix to this lineup here that flips it around. Because, at this point, I said it yesterday on the morning show. We made predictions for last night. I said if the over 11.5 runs hit, the Phillies would win. If the under hit, we would lose. Because when this offense isn't hitting home runs, this offense is two things. It's hitting home runs, and it's striking out and getting out. So if they're scoring 8-9 runs in the game, they're winning. If they're not, their pitching's not good enough to win a 2-0 game. They don't know how to do the little things of moving runners along or whatever. I mean, again, yesterday, I think it was in the 5th inning. The starting pitcher, what was his name for the Rockies yesterday? Marquez. In the 5th or 6th inning, he had an 8-pitch inning again. And that's just swinging first pitch every single time. Weak pop-ups, ground ball. They just don't know how to do the fundamental things. And part of it is because the lineup's changing every day. Part of it's because they don't have a leadoff hitter, a table setter at the top of the order. They just have a bunch of guys that do the same exact thing at the plate, and that is a problem. But that's why you got to keep tinkering. I know we want a set lineup, but we got to keep tinkering with it until we find one that we think can work. And we could say, well, we scored 9 runs yesterday, roll with yesterday's lineup. And you know what? Honestly, I don't like that lineup. I don't like Segura, Hoskins 1-2. But we've done it 2 days in a row. We've gone 1-1 with it. Friday, when I show up to the ballpark and I see the lineup card out there, I would be okay with rolling out the same exact lineup, just so that we see some consistency with that lineup. On a side note with this lineup, I know Stubbs, backup catcher, he's no better than Andrew Knapp was, the last few years. But we're gonna have to get JT a day off here at some point. Got to. You can just tell he's pooped. He's whooped. He's already caught more innings as a catcher so far in the first couple weeks of the season than anybody else in baseball. Joe Girardi can feel the seat get hotter and hotter, and he has not let his best player or one of his best players sit on the bench at all. It's unfortunate because they're going to burn JT Realmuto out real fast if they don't get him a game off here soon. Hopefully it's not Friday because I obviously want to see the best players when I'm there. But maybe give him off Saturday, Joe. I'll give you permission. Give him off Saturday. And Sunday's a night game, of course, as well. So, all right. So Phillies pitching here last night. Zach Eflin. Guys, when will you guys listen to me? Like I tried to keep the first half of the show with the Sixers all positivity. Even the first part of this Phillies talk has been positive about the offense, coming out of their funk a little bit yesterday. But man, and this is not even being negative, honestly, guys. But when are you going to listen to me? The Phillies starting rotation is not that good. It's okay. It's mediocre. It's average-ish. Zach Eflin again yesterday. I know people will say, well, he only gave up 4 runs. He's got a whatever. Dude, he gave 5 2/3 innings, 4 runs. He didn't walk a guy. I'm impressed with that. I won't lie. He could not get through 6 innings yesterday. 9 hits, 4 runs. Zach Eflin is exactly who I've been telling you guys he is. He's he's okay. Nothing special. He's not great. He's not good. He's okay. But the problem is we've got too many okay pitchers. Kyle Gibson, Zach Eflin, Aaron Nola, even Ranger Suarez to an extent. We don't really know who Ranger Suarez is yet, but you can't say he's great yet. We got a lot of It's a problem. And people hype up Zach Eflin all the time and think he's this really good starting pitcher. He's not. And he's got for some reason, the Phillies fans have given Zach Eflin a longer leash than they gave Vinny V. Vince Velasquez had the longest of leashes. He lived off a 116K performance in April of 2016 for 5 years here. Zach Eflin's been here almost as long. People are still saying, no, he's this really good number 2, number 3 pitcher. No, he's a 5. We've got literally 2 guys that are 5s in most rotations, in Gibson and Eflin. And there are, 3 and 4? Aaron Nola's are 2, I guess. He's a 3 or a 4 in a rotation. The offense will come along. And the offense, like Jason has said a bunch of times on this morning show, it's a very streaky offense. Unfortunately, we have 9 guys that are just way too streaky. And, if they're all, stinking at the same time, that's a problem, as they were the last couple games. But when they're all hitting, it's going to be great. Pitching, though, they're not streaky. They just are what they are. They're okay. That's what they are. Phillies offense, man. They need to score 8-9 runs every game just to make up for it. Brad Hand came in the 6th inning, got out of that trouble there. That's fine. Jesus Familia, came in. We signed a bunch of, I don't want to call them retreads, but older veteran relievers. He just seems to be the one out of all of them. Just isn't quite, he's just, he might be the one that eventually falls off. Alvarado had a good game, and then Knievel got his 2nd save of the season with a pretty easy 9th inning there. So we come away out of Colorado with 1 win. That whole road trip of 7 games, we came away with 2 wins. Not good, guys. Still, I know we won yesterday, but it's just not good. Got the Brewers coming to town. Ranger Suarez on Friday night. Brewers are a good baseball team. It's not going to be easy to turn it all around against the Brewers this weekend. Will they? We'll find out. It's kind of, I'm hoping they do, because somehow they got a national TV game on Sunday Night Baseball this week and so early in the season. It's kind of odd. And it's the Fanatic birthday. When I was a kid, sidetrack here, my dad made sure to take us to the Philly Fanatic birthday game every single year. Now they give out different things, but back in the day in the 90s, early 90s, they used to give out the ugliest of hats to kids 14 and under. And I rocked those hats. That's probably why I got beat up so much. First day of school, I'm rocking my Fanatic hat, and I'm getting knocked down by kids nonstop. But, dude, there was nothing like a kid going to the Fanatic birthday party at the vet. Somehow it's got bumped to a Sunday Night Baseball game, which that's really weird for the Fanatic birthday game. But it is what it is. If anybody's got an old, late 80s, early 90s Philly Fanatic baseball hat or birthday hat, I would love to see them. There was one really ugly white with red stripes. It was almost like a truck. It felt like it was made at a 5 and dime store, man. I would love to see somebody that's got one. I would love one if you got one. But anyway, I love those. I'll get beat up again. I'll rock it at the pizza shop. No doubt about it. Look, the Phillies, they are what they are. They need, to turn things around here. Winning yesterday's game does not take Joe Girardi off the hot seat. It doesn't even cool it off a little bit. This weekend series against the Brewers, if the same thing, the seat's still hot at this point. Yesterday, Camargo hit a 3-run. Was it a 3-run home run or a 2-run home run at a clutch point of a game? Players are jumping all around. Everybody's excited and pumped up. He just goes, no excitement. He's one of the most lifeless, dead-looking people there is in a dugout. And it doesn't even look like he wants to be there. He's got no energy. So I'm not saying he's got to flip tables, but get excited for your players. Try to pump your players up. Do something to, get that dugout going. But he doesn't. So his seat is still hot. Yeah, it's a good old hot. Yeah, no, sorry. I'm pulling strings here. So Phillies win 9-6. They get to 5-8. Let me see real quick. See if that got him out of last place in the division there or not. Let me pull up the standings here. It did get him out of last place by default because the Marlins haven't played as many games as us. We're both 4 back, but we've got 5 wins. They only have 4. So, we're out of last place. We spent 1 day in the cellar of the NL East. Let's see if we can turn it around here a little bit. Actually, we're the only team to win a game yesterday. Everybody else has got a losing streak going in the NL East right now. So that's good. That's a positive sign there as well. Look, guys, it's not going to get any better until, the offense gets some consistency in it. I don't want to see games where we have to score 9 runs. There is no line on Friday's game yet. We won't really talk too much about the game on Friday tomorrow, but we'll see how that goes. They got to turn it around, guys. They got to turn it around. So that was my Phillies talk for the day. As positive as I can be. Look, I still got 10 minutes to kill here. But I don't know if I could talk this topic for 10 minutes or not. But I got to turn it around. I got to drop it. Bombshell news yesterday in Philadelphia and nationally. Jay Wright, head coach of the Villanova University Wildcats, announced his retirement after 21 years at Villanova. Wow. Did not see that coming. There is no leaks in that Nova Nation there. Nobody, was leaking information that maybe he'll retire. On a side note, he didn't need to go on a year-long, retirement tour, getting his butt kissed by everybody like somebody else did, Coach K. They just quietly just said, I'm done. 21 years at Villanova. 2 national championships, 4 Final Fours. I'm saying here, he won 520 games, a 7.25 winning percentage. Man. Villanova, Jay Wright. Villanova was already kind of sort of on the map in college basketball, but he put Villanova in the elite bracket there in college basketball. He made, I always joke that, we're in Philadelphia region here. I'm in Southern Chester County, but Penn State's the local college football team. Well, Penn State's 4.5 hours away from me, and I'm supposed to cheer for Penn State. I have no attachment to Penn State. Villanova is a team. They're a local team. It's so exciting to have a college sports team that's good, whether it's basketball or football. And Villanova, Jay Wright put them on that map. They weren't like that before he got there. Now, is he walking away for sure? I don't know. That's the thing. This kind of came out of nowhere. It's not like the offseason for the NBA started and there's already a plan in place for him to go coach somewhere, or at least it doesn't seem like it. The Lakers are the only team that have a head coaching opening right now. That would be god-awful if Jay Wright was going Hollywood. Oh, my God, that just came into my head. If Jay Wright goes to coach the Los Angeles Lakers and LeBron James, he will be probably the most hated man in Philadelphia. Mark will actually probably burn every picture he's got of Jay Wright. Man, I just thought of that. I know Mark says he's got an inside source, a really reliable inside source that says there's a standing offer from the Philadelphia ownership group. If Jay Wright ever wants the Sixers job, no matter what situation they're in, it's his job. I don't know. Maybe. Is he just thinking it's time to take a break? The guy has been going pretty hardcore for a long time. Even at Hofstra, before he got Hofstra at the NCAA tournament for the first time in their existence, right before he left them to come take the Villanova job. Is it just time for Jay Wright? What's he, like 60 years old approximately? It says he's coached for 35 straight years. I mean, again, eventually it's got to take a break, a toll on you. Where is it? He's 60 years old. Yeah. Maybe he just wants a year off. Doc Rivers gets fired maybe if we don't win a title. Even if we do win a title, maybe he just resigns. Maybe Jay Wright does take over here. That'd be great. Be fun. But I just didn't see Jay Wright as an NBA coach, honestly. I just didn't. I just didn't think he was that person. So real quick, so they're bringing in Fordham's head coach, Kyle Neptune. I know he's worked under Jay Wright a bunch. I guess working under Jay Wright got him that Fordham head coaching gig. I don't know much about him. I don't know if he's a Villanova graduate or anything like that, but whatever. They'll take a hit recruiting-wise, of course, with Jay Wright stepping aside. But it is what it is. I just don't know. I don't know if Jay Wright, his style, he's one of those guys that talks building a program and building a family. I just don't know if what Jay Wright does translate to NBA grown men. You see it. Some guys come from college, go to the pros, and it works. The big college names in football and in basketball, when they transition from the college to the pros, it just doesn't work out because they're used to coaching 18 and 19 and 20-year-old young men. Then they get to the pros and they're coaching grown ass adults. And it just doesn't translate their message as well. I'm not saying that Jay Wright would fail in the NBA. I'm not. And let me tell you something. It would be exciting to have him on the Sixers sideline. Absolutely. But I just don't know, if it's the right move for him or for the Sixers or for any. I mean, if the Sixers didn't want him, I'm sure some young, struggling NBA franchise, I don't even know if they're firing their coaches. I'm just throwing names out here. Oklahoma City or, Orlando or, teams that have very young organizations, a lot of early first round picks coming up in the next few years. Maybe he takes a shot, and having some young kids on the team, he can help continue to mold them and grow them. But I just don't think it's for him. I think he legitimately just wants a break. And then maybe after a year off, maybe it's time for him to just, come back and maybe he'll take another opportunity somewhere else. I just caught me totally surprised. He just made another fantastic run to the Final Four, and he just wrapped it up. I was like, damn, it kind of came out of nowhere. And I wish it would have happened so that on Monday, on a Sunday, so that on Monday Mark would have been here and he could have talked more about it because he's a Villanova graduate and he's a very passionate Villanova fan as well. On Monday when we do Overreaction Monday, I'll make sure I block out about 5 minutes of the show to get Mark's thoughts on it. But yeah, I just caught me by surprise. And then the Sixers game happened, so I didn't really have time to think about it and let it marinate in my head. I just don't know what the plan is for Jay Wright. I hope to God that random thought that I just had of him going out to Hollywood there to coach LeBron and the Lakers, that's not what he's thinking, because that would be an absolute travesty. Absolutely. But yeah, I think that's all the time I got today. Wrap it up a couple minutes early here. This has been actually a really fun, fantastic episode of Trending in the AM. Rolling Solo, Rolling Solo is not easy. I appreciate everybody tuning in and sticking with me here this show. But talking Sixers last night, Sixers dominating the Raptors again. To recap, they just took the soul. It was like a flawless victory, in Mortal Kombat. Just took the soul from the Raptors players, the Raptors fans, everybody in Toronto. Just ripped that soul. Drake is no longer a Toronto fan. He's a Sixers fan now. Go figure. He flipped. He's a flip-flopper more than I am. And everybody calls me a flip-flopper. Phillies win. Wake up their bats a little bit. Break their losing streak. Hopefully it's a start of some things to come. I will forewarn you. Most of the time when I go to a Phillies game, they lose. I have a very bad track record with that. I'm going on Friday night. So I do not expect a win on Friday night because that's just my track record. They lose when I go. It is what it is. And, of course, Jay Wright retiring. That's what I've covered today. It's been a fantastic show. Be back tomorrow morning with Trending in the AM, 8:30 a.m. right here on DSM Media. Make sure you're following all the sites at DSM_media on Twitter, on Facebook. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube so you don't miss it. There's a little bell. Just click that bell. That turns the notifications on. So you get a little notification. Yo, Beard and Knowledge is live, talking. I better tune in. That's what you want to see. So do that for me. I appreciate it. Be back live tomorrow. We're going to actually do a little Football Friday tomorrow. Me and Jason Voorhees will be on with me. We're less than a week away from the draft. A week from today, it's the NFL draft. So tomorrow will be less than a week. So we're going to talk Eagles, draft. Howie Roseman spoke yesterday. We'll dive into all the stuff that he had to say yesterday. And we'll go from there. But everybody have a great Thursday. Enjoy it. The weather's starting to turn a little bit. Excuse me. Everybody have a great Thursday. Enjoy it. We'll be back tomorrow. Yo, Sixers in 4, baby.